Yet.
Oh, you're not live.
And we are live.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Ninja coming to you from the
Here.
East Coast. Blockchain for what is best. Coming to you from somewhere on the West Coast, I think, right?
And how? Oh, where's my picture? My
I
picture.
see you.
Okay. And how? Good morning, America. Good morning, world. Good morning, P3D. Go
You
ahead.
look all right. You look all right. You know, you said it's an early morning for you, and you look like bright and bushy-tailed, man.
I'm a morning guy, dude. It's how you get shit done in this world.
Amen. So listen, I started this live stream like last week. You've been doing this for a long time. You've been doing these videos. You came into the chat today like your fucking hair was on fire, right? It's like shit's going crazy. You got a lot to say. You're on fire. You're like I don't care who you're like I don't care who I fucking piss off. You're gonna listen to what I have to say.
No. I don't care what people think. I'm not here to piss anybody off. That's the last thing I want to do. If you get upset at what I have to say, that's on you. There's little triggers that we all have, and we're all working in this really, really small paradigm. And if we don't open our minds, we're not going to get anything in life, and we're going to sit behind the screen all day long and play in FOMO. Life's a lot more than that, and I'm just trying to throw ideas into people's heads just because they affect them emotionally. That really should speak a lot. I mean, do you really think I'm that mad? I mean, look at me. I'm just crazy. I'm not mad.
No, clearly you're crazy, right? That's obvious to everybody. But here, let me ask you a few questions that I think, my goal today is really to get your point of view out there and to see, for people to decide whether or not it's actually worth listening to. Because there's plenty of people in the chat who just want you to go away. And then there's other people in the chat. Yeah, there are. And
do you think any of them are the developers by any chance?
Based on the chat line I saw Inventor throw out there and then quickly delete, I'm thinking you might have he might be kind of a antagonist to your way of thinking.
I think, and for what it's worth, the amount of when I got kicked off when I was playing with all the other clones, the amount of conversation that I would get out of the people when I was in the pit, the people that had access to the pit, that were in control, the controllers, they were definitely contributing a ton. They were participating in a ton with whatever it is they thought I was bringing. All I was bringing in my world are questions, but obviously my questions were a lot more emotional triggers to people there. Even so, my point being, I guess I think at some level, Manso has spoken specifically to me long ago about how he appreciates the content I bring in my channel. And to be honest with you, initially, when I started questioning and bringing up other on my video channel, that's what really what triggered me emotionally, because they were trying to dictate what I was doing on my YouTube channel. And that's when I was kind of like, wait a minute, man, this isn't Obama, this isn't Trump. These are some guys who we have no idea what they do or who they are in real life. I mean, we know who they are in P3D, obviously, and that's all that matters.
Right. Okay.
People here, but I think that, I'm not. Honestly, my thing I want to bring is an element of entertainment, and I think at some level people are misconstruing it, that actually the only thing that I'm serious about is being sarcastic.
Let me ask you a couple questions to try to get to the root of things. First question, is P3D to you, is it an investment or is it a game?
I don't, and that's a great question, and it's a huge bummer that you have to ask that question. I'm really apologetic about that, because P3D is the only real crypto there is, or all the clones. Anybody that's working in the smart contract space, I've said it a million times. Let me be very fucking clear. If the police department was a business, I mean, what do you think the world would be like if the fire department was a business? What do you think the world would be like? They're not businesses for a reason. The garbage men, the mailmen, they're utilitarian for a reason. Why the fuck do we have politicians, lawyers, and bankers not operating from the same exact premise. Why do we have problems in the world, whether it's socialism, capitalism, communism, fascism? It all comes from the fact that there's business in banking, law, and politics. These are utilitarian functions to society, and the only hope I believe humanity has in the near future is getting the smart contract to delineate. Contract law is so fucking clear. Why isn't it that there's people that can control contracts after they're written? Because there's business in banking, law, and politics. And we can eliminate a vast majority of the problems in the world if we could just relegate politicians, lawyers, and bankers into utilitarian positions in society. And for me, I've seen the silver. I've seen all the hope. I've seen all the libertarians. I've seen all the different ways. For me, this space and the significant. I'm just following the biggest leaders in this space. I'm hoping. Manso has said to me that he has goals that work towards those same ends I speak to, and that's why I'm in this space. It's so what if I've made a little bit of money? And so what if I've lost a bunch of money? I mean, I'm obviously still here, so I've made more than I've lost. And to be honest with you, most of it was through P3D.
So what I'm hearing from you is this is not an investment. This is not a game.
I just told you what I'm investing. Invest in the future here.
Listen, let's not interrupt each other because it makes it a shitty live stream. What I'm hearing, though, is that it's less an investment, less a game, and more of a revolution, more of a world-changing technology that you think can actually make a difference in the world. That's what I'm hearing you say. Is that not accurate?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, essentially, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen, and I'm hoping it happens.
You want to see the world change because of this?
While I'm alive, I'm hoping, yeah, because everything else in crypto, I mean, look at Bitcoin, it's all Blockstream. And the idea that the Lightning Network is going to fix anything, all that is check clearinghouses. It's just more of the same of what we already have. Look at how high everybody is on this ICE thing, Intercontinental Exchange. These cocksuckers are making it obviously clear who's in control, and everybody's getting a hard on and waiting for the huge ejaculation that's going to come when I can buy my fucking coffee in the morning with Bitcoin at Starbucks. I mean, that's such a sad state of affairs to see everybody getting excited about that and totally ignoring what crypto was here in the first place for. And I think the decentralized app space and P3D going forward, making it clear. It's just unfortunate. I think what they're doing, they're playing in the gambling space so they can get the quickest returns in order to get as many people involved as possible. But, with how people are so sheep-like, they may just, at some level, I mean, who's to say something's not going to come along and just totally make Ethereum a bad thing? I kind of see Ethereum like SQL back in the day. It's kind of something that people, all the developers and everybody see, like what Justo just said this morning, how much of how few developers are in Solidity. I've heard other people talk about how shitty Ethereum is and how EOS and all these other ones are going to come along and be better. Well, they said the same thing about SQL, and where's it at today? I see Ethereum hopefully kind of like that rather than something that's going to go away. I'm just kind of wishing that there could be more direction towards, like what Tony's trying to say at the party that he's got with the P4 token. Mm-hmm. It's a virtual deposit contract. Your money is not at risk, or your investment is not as at risk.
Well, let me before we go down the road with clones, let me ask you a couple more questions.
That's not a clone, dude. That thing's not a clone.
Well, listen, my goal with this live stream is to get your point of view out there and understood, right? And I just want to make sure that we do that. So what I'm hearing, a lot of, I think, the confusion and the conflict comes from assigning motivations to people that perhaps we don't really 100% understand. And am I fair in assuming you're not a developer, or are you a developer? Are you a coder?
If I've done anything ever in P3D, heck no. I've never, or in Solidity, no.
Okay.
But I have ripped apart HTML, and I used to be a Flash developer. I was really into Flash, and then when Adobe and Apple did what they did to Flash, I was like, fuck this shit. And watching when CRM came along, or not CRM, CMS came along, and WordPress, I was like, why the fuck do I want to learn this shit when I'm not going to be able to make any money at it anymore? So I went back.
You're not a Solidity engineer, obviously. And
I'm motivated. I am motivated. I'm watching some videos. To be honest, I want, you know what I want? I want a virtual deposit contract that is 7.5 in, 7.5 out, free transfers, referrals, but no other thing except that's different than the biggest difference would be the price would not fluctuate. I do not want a fluctuating price on the and I think my goals of ridding the world of the business and banking would be accomplished through that end. You know, obviously, only if the kind of volume that goes on at a much bigger scale could be implemented into it, because then we'd have what Faf used to talk about, that UBI. You know, and
Right.
I'm not speaking to a UBI. I don't think UBI is a good thing. What I'm thinking is, if you're early in life and you work your butt off and you put away a nest egg you know, you should be able to live off that and not have to put it at such a high risk in order to make gains. When I was a kid, my mom, all the way from the Depression, they had created this idea of what interest rates are all about, and that they're a good thing. You know, back when I was a kid, if I had 100 grand in the bank, I couldn't, you know, made enough money almost for a year's worth of living back then. But now you
Mhm.
can't. The amount of money you need, it's got to be put at such a high risk. There's no real safe place, and we're in this. I don't know how many more generations, or if it ends tomorrow, but there's no way that our lives or the world can operate it the way it's going without more unlimited money being printed. It's gotten so freaking bad.
Right.
And the only way that the people in charge have ever gotten rid of this shit is through world wars. And I just hate that idea, where world wars are only where the very, very smallest amount of people benefit the most benefit more than ever off of the most tragedy to the largest amount of people.
Now, it must
And
be extremely frustrating for you to have all these ideas and motivations and things that
it's
you
all the
want to
same.
accomplish in your head, but
It's
being
all the same.
unable, but you're unable because you're not a Solidity engineer, you're not a developer, you're unable to
Oh, no, no, no,
fully,
no, no, no.
you're unable to fully, no, it's not an attack. It's more saying, I understand too. I have lots of ideas. I have lots of things that I want to do in the world, but I have to rely on the very few people out there that know how to write the code in order to put them into motion. And I'm getting the same sense from you that you have all these ideas and things that you want to do, but you're kind of frustrated by the bottleneck, which is there's only a few developers that can actually do it right now. And some
I,
of them are in that P3D chat.
I'm not even saying like that. I'm saying it's happening, and I'm just part of that conversation. That's all I'm saying. It's happening as we speak, and where I believe, which I'm probably wrong, and history will prove it, but where I believe it's most significant is in this space, and all I'm trying to do is be a big loud voice in that space, because can't do Solidity and all this stuff. And to be honest with you, if I were to be the kind of person that like Inventor probably is, he probably doesn't even have the time to do what I'm doing, is doing these videos and thinking about things I do. It's his job to do what he's doing and work towards the end he's doing. And I think my job is to do what I'm doing as this mouthpiece of you know, I'm playing in this space, and my reasons for playing in this space are this, even though, you know, I have other motivations that are obvious, that we all have, that are much more common. It's just like my motivations and the bots' motivations to do what they're doing on the FOMO game right now. They're not too far apart each other, you know, in the most part. So I got to admit to that, and you know, yeah, and I am learning a little bit about Solidity. I may just come up with what you would call a clone that would be just super simple and may never ever go nowhere. But at least I'd say, look, this is the currency that I thought. This is where I placed my vote. And what I'm doing now on your channel is trying to say that, like,
Mhm.
business in banking, law, and politics needs to be just like business in policing, firemen, mailmen, and garbage men. The business, rather, in policing, the business in garbage men, it needs to be the same in banking, law, and politics. And that's, I truly believe, because of what a smart contract is. It's not smart at all. It's just a stupid contract that lays clear what's going to happen. That is a solution to everything. I've had to play with attorneys my whole life, on and off. I've obviously, throughout my whole life, had to deal with what was called banking, and understanding how my value is created, saved, and earned, and spent. And it's so, everything is such a problem for the, like, how people interact. People interact based on these lies that we live in when it comes to banking law and politics, and it seems to be the only semblance we seem to have sometimes is just in a family unit where those things are at least extradited with what at least morally we're led to believe, where we don't have to worry about those things because the family is everything. And I think if we took that same attitude we have towards family and or you know, even our extended family of those that we call, you know, our culture from wherever we are, if we can keep those values and hold those into banking law and politics, and I think we will. It's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen.
Do you believe that Team Just is not taking this seriously enough at this point? Their responsibility to the world?
Ow. I mean, that's to say, if I'm going to ask them that, I got to ask myself that, and that, you know, that's the reason why I'm an artist. Because I mean, I could have done a lot of different things, and I grew into this. But for me to judge them at that level, do you think they really care what I think? I think they have their motivations. I don't think they're nefarious, but I do think they've called other people much more nefarious than they were. And then, like when Klopp gave back 70% of all that money to the people in Pooh, I mean, to watch Justo and Mansto still, after they did that, try to label them as criminal and bad and less than them, you know, that says something too. So I don't, you know, whatever they're, I don't.
Do you think that they should?
Do you think I care what they think? Do you think I care what they think?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I think that it sounds like you wish.
Care what they think.
But you clearly want them to take your ideas more seriously, and that's what you're trying to accomplish in the Discord channel.
It's not just them, dude. You think I'm just communicating with them? They're the biggest. I target them, sure, but it's not just them.
Okay.
I'm like, you know, here I'm farting. Smell it. What do you think?
So you're working with other developers in other places that are doing interesting things, and some of them are even more interesting.
I have. Right now, I'm really frustrated with the party because the way Tony is just. I think the party could be a lot better than what it could be along the lines of what he says it is. It's safe and everything, but he's convoluted everything, so it's like a big. I don't know if you've ever smoked pot, but you ever seen those bongs that have multiple chambers? He's got like 6 different chambers where the smoke goes through till you finally get a hit, and it's just like, you know what? It just takes a lot of energy to understand, and sometimes what he's trying to convey is not being it. And so I'm not. The other developers and stuff, they're just using me for the same reason I'm using them. They have an idea. I think that they have what I want, and they want. I've got 600 subscribers, so they want some of those on my YouTube channel. So, awesome. You know, that's just business. It's just business. All this is really is comes down to business, and that's what's beautiful about it. Because, you know, there isn't any. I don't want to use the word, but I will. Regulation. There's nobody telling us what we can or can't do, and that's a kick in the pants. I mean, if you can participate in something, and have experiences like I am right now with you. I think that's just wonderful because you just learn so much. I mean, I'm the king of mistakes, and there's nobody in this space that can't say they haven't made a mistake, unless you're Manso and Justo maybe. But that's a joke.
No. Well, listen, man. I think you and we have a lot in common actually in the way we think about this stuff. And you, I don't know how old you are. I'm in my 40s. And I've been, you know, kind of libertarian thinking guy for 20 plus years, right? And so when Bitcoin came along, when you know, I got excited. I'm excited. I watched the videos, you know, from the
how early? When? Like I got in 2011, but then I got screwed at Mt. Gox, so I stayed away until 17. When did you first jump in?
I started playing with very small amounts in 2014.
Oh, you dog!
Very small amounts.
And you never left?
I was buying it just to spend it on like torrent sites and stuff like that. So I wasn't even holding on.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
Yeah. But anyway, listen, we have a lot of the same ideas, and I think we have a lot of the same frustrations in that the people that can actually act and can actually code and develop this software are young. Right, they're for the most part younger people, and I don't know that for sure. I don't know how old any of the Team Just guys are, but I do know they're probably younger than me, and they don't have the same way of thinking about a lot of this stuff. So I feel like
I'm convinced Manso is at least at least in his late 40s, probably more like in his 50s or 60s. I'm convinced of it. There's
I'd
no
love
way.
to get some confirmation on that because I would be shocked. That would be
Not me.
amazing. But
I can't imagine he's any younger. There's no way he could do what he's doing without the kind of experience that he's had in order to make. Because these guys, and they're obviously, yeah, you're right. Who knows? And that's the whole big question. This is the thing that I find very intriguing. The anonymity. I find this very intriguing. I mean, you saw the 1996 white paper the NSA did. Who's to say Satoshi a real person? Who's to say this is not somebody from way back, planning, there's those kind of unspoken questions that make things really compelling, and to see, it makes me wonder if this is even human, this whole cryptocurrency space. Anyways, forgive me, I interrupted.
Well, no problem. And actually, Human from Earth in the chat just mentioned something that I wanted to get to. Inventor has noted that P3D ecosystem is working towards a goal that has been in planning for decades. So, it makes you wonder, look, there's clearly an agenda here, right? Manso has an agenda, Inventor has an agenda, Justo has an agenda, you have an agenda, I have an agenda. We all have competing agendas.
Okay? Not always competing, but anyways, go on.
Well, they're probably all friction in some regard, in some way.
Obviously, hopefully.
But
obviously.
Look, our agendas don't really matter because we can't write the goddamn code. Right. So the best we can do is scream and shout and hope that they listen.
Participation is just as critical as the code itself. And that's what's so critical here is our participation, because that is the number one factor. The code is the cockroach. Without the ants, the cockroaches can't rule. And the ants are the participants. And so that's really what is most important. So anyways, I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think you're right. And I think that a lot of the frustration that people perceive from you and also from me, because I'm always screaming in chat too and shit posting, is because we can't look, if I could code the way Inventor does, I would not be in that chat at all. I'd be out there fucking building stuff, but I can't.
Yeah,
and it's really, it makes me frustrated and angry, right?
Well, then with that motivation, why are you not sitting down and learning Solidity? You can do this for free.
Right. It's easy to say, right? But actually sitting down and doing it and finding time to do it is difficult. And if I could lose,
you've made it clear that the significance. I'm doing that, and I'm running. I mean, I'm so lucky. I got somebody who's looking at maybe 10 face mounts. You don't know what it takes to make a face mount and how much I charge for them. But this is, anyways. That frustration you have is the motivation I'm using in order for me to sit down and watch these videos and trying to understand tags and getting into, and I'm going to have to fucking learn math. I didn't pass algebra, so I'm motivated to do it. And if what's more important to you is just being frustrated and blaming others because you can find more significance in that, or are you significant to look in the mirror enough and make the sacrifice with what time you have left in life to work towards that end?
Amen, man. Amen. That's right. And like a guy like you, if you can get to that level, then you're a guy I can funnel ideas through too. So let's get there. I think that well, look, dude, we've gone for a while here. I know you got to hit the waves. I think we got a lot out there. I think this is good. We got the human side of the argument out there. We got a little bit deeper on it. So when you walk into the chat, perhaps people don't have to take an immediate hostile. I don't know. How do you feel about the AGM moniker?
I like, be honest, I came into this whole space saying we are fucked, and that's who I was all along the whole boom happened. And then I started that channel on the YouTube, and I'm really convinced the blockchain is for what is best. Other people in other chats, they call me blockchain. I like that a lot. I don't think I qualify for that in accordance with the people at the P3D forum. And I think AGM just speaks to who they are. If they want to call me that, I'm not gonna. You can call me Ray. You can call me Jay. Just don't call me late for dinner because I'm a garbage disposal when it comes to food. I'm just call me what you want. You guys, you like it? If you like it and I motivate you to say it, take it. It's all yours. I'm not going to take anything you don't want. But I like. If you're asking me what I like it when people say blockchain and they refer to me blockchain. It makes me feel good.
Well, that's a good attitude to have, man. Well, Thanks for joining, on short notice.
No, thank you, dude. I really do. This is cool, man. Thank you.
We should do it more often. Let's make it a regular thing.
So, yeah, when the hot top, dude, this e-horse, is this gonna bring? I mean, we saw the bump. Is that a bump? Is that market manipulation, or is that somebody going? I think something's gonna happen here.
It could be, and I think there's going to be more stuff coming down the pike that's not
yeah.
built by the devs, but by the community, and that's the stuff I'm most excited.
Have you researched ETHORS at all? Are they do they carry their own weight? I understand they're like 770 on market cap, coin market cap.
I have not. I have not. I've heard a lot of people buzzing about it, but we need to do more research on that.
Yes.
So, all right, dude, get your board, hit the waves.
Thanks,
a lot.
man.
We'll do it again another time.
Later, definite. Thank you.
Bye for watching.
All right. Same.